Hello student, welcome back to the channel Yanimam. This video is belong from the Kathrine Mansfield's story A Cup of Tea. A Cup of Tea by Kathrine Mansfield deals with and where upper class women, the female protagonist Rosemary's Fell is a bundle of social snobberies, but Mansfield shows that whatever the status, a woman of Rosemary's type is a woman after all, frail and jealous in spite of her desire to appear otherwise. The summary of the story. The story begins with the chief characteristics of a female protagonist, Rosemary Fell. She was pretty, young, brilliant, extremely modern, extraordinary, well dressed, amazingly well read. She was very rich and organized parties, and her parties were the most delicious mixture of the reality importance people. Her shopping used to be very expensive and choosy. One winter afternoon, Rosemary went inside a little antique shop in Crozon Street. This was the usual shop where the shopkeeper was ridiculous fond of servicing her. The man on the counter showed her an exquisite little enamel box with a very fine glaze as if baked in cream. The shopkeeper was much interested to sell this creamy box to her as he would gain a big margin. As the box was too expensive, priced 28 guineas, and Rosemary asked the shopkeeper to keep it for her. The weather, too, went that winter afternoon was not fine. It was rainy and dark. Rosemary also felt cold, bitter taste in the air and thought of having an extra special tea at home. At that very instant, a young, dark, shadowing, a little battle poor creature, a beggar girl, later named Miss Smith, asked for the price of a cup of tea in a very sobbing manner. Rosemary thought of extraordinary, more than extraordinary adventure. She brought that shivering, thin beggar girl to her big cozy house, though the poor girl was very apprehensive. Rosemary wanted to prove that girl that wonderful things happen in life, that fairy godmothers like her were in real life, that rich people like her had heard that women were sisters. The poor beggar girl felt much uncomfortable in her new surrounding, administered warm, soft nets, high sweet scents, beautiful big bedroom, curtains, wonder, furniture, gold cushions and the comfy chair of Rosemary's house. After much difficult, Rosemary could handle that poor girl and make her take a slice of meal, of sandwich, bread and butter and tea. The slight meal had a big effect upon the poor beggar girl. At this juncture, Philip, Rosemary's husband, entered their room and wanted to know all about this real pickup. He tried hard to make and Rosemary understand the difficulties in her plans to be nice to this pickup girl, and he explained that Rosemary's plans were just not festival. But Philip had to adopt some other method to get rid of this poor beggar girl. He aroused feeling of jealous in Rosemary's mind by praising beggar girls beautiful. And he called her pretty, absolutely lovely. Now Rosemary considered the bigger girl her rival in beauty and love. Rosemary did not want to lose her husband, and she paid the poor girl a present of money and sent her out. Rosemary dressed up herself by doing her hair, darkening her eyes, and putting on her pearls in order to look attractive to make up herself. As she talked to her husband, her tone became husky and troubled. Now she could see the danger in her fascinating plan, and she says, "Am I pretty?" Now let's concentrate on the theme of the story. First theme of the story is class difference and social divided. The stories highlights the gap between the rich and the poor. Rosemary lives a life of luxury and comfortable, while Mrs. Smith is struggle serving. Rosemary attempt to help Mrs. Smith shows how the wealthy may try to bridge this gap, but often their effort and misguided or superficial. Rosemary doesn't understand Miss Smith's true need and is more focused on how she appears to others. Now, the second theme of the story is superficiality of charity. Rosemary's charity is shown to be shallow and self-serving. She helped Mrs. Smith more to feel good about herself and to look apprehensive and impressive in the front of others. When her own feelings are treated, her supposed kindness and disappears quickly. This raises question about the nature of true generosity and whether it is motivated by the genuine compassion of self-interested. Now, the third point of the theme is jealousy and insecurity. The theme story explores how easily jealousy can affect a person's behavior. When Philip mentions that Mrs. Smith is very pretty and Rosemary's jealousy surfaces, revolving her insecurity about her husband's affection. Her sudden shift from kindness to dismissals of Mrs. Smith shows how fragile her sense of self-worth is. Now, another point of the theme is the complexity of human nature. Kathrine Mansfield presents her characters as complex and multi-layered. Rosemary is not simply good or bad. She has moments of generosity, but also shows her insecurity, vanity, and superficiality. Philip, our husband, Philip appears caring, but is also suddenly manipulative. This complexity reflects the idea of human behavior is often driven by multiple conflicting motivations. Now, the conclusion of the story is a cup of tea shows that what appears to be a simple act of kindness can reveal much deeper and more complex aspect of human nature. Though the characters of Rosemary, Mrs. Smith, and Philip Mansfield explores the theme of the social class and the true nature of charity and the insecurities that often drives human behavior. The story suggests that generosity and kindness, when not grounded in true compassion, can quickly turn into something self-service and superficial. Thank you so much for listening. Yanimam.